Hey, it's a little after 6 on a Sunday morning. I'm recording this right before I go into work at the factory I work at, just because I woke up with it in my head, and I wanted to get it out before I go in for a day full of work. So basically, the idea is the most dangerous thing about the Daimon is actually how you perceive it, how you choose to perceive it, how you may naturally perceive it. But here's what I mean by that. A lot of this channel has been me trying to decide or vacillating between the two ideas. Is the Daimon some sort of autonomous spiritual presence that kind of directs us from outside and shapes our lives in, as I said in the last video, like an algorithmic way towards wholeness, towards realization? Or is it simply a metaphor? Is it a way to view your life that gives it a sense of purpose? And I think, even though at times I would have said strongly, well, it's this or it's that or one of the two, I feel like where I'm kind of find myself landing is that it's kind of both. That being open to the idea that your soul, your unconscious, has a path laid out for you, has a destiny in store, and it's up to you to kind of find that. I think that's a very powerful shaping idea. But then I also I see the power in looking at this as a metaphor and kind of as an organizing factor for your life. And so I think I'm kind of right in the middle of those two. I'm not driving in either ditch. I'm in the middle of the road, I think. But I think the dangerous thing is being too committed to either side. So if you decide, yeah, no, I believe the Daimon is this autonomous spiritual presence that is guiding me from some other realm and is wholly spiritual, wholly alive, and that sort of thing. There's a danger to that, because it makes you a little complacent, I think. You're just waiting to be saved. You're waiting to be worked on. You're waiting to be fixed by something else. You put all the responsibility for your life on this outside force and say, I'm just going to sit here because I know this thing exists and I know it has this plan, so I'm just going to turn myself over to it and completely surrender my agency to this process. And that, I think that is potentially a little dangerous, because there's good surrender, but then there's, like I said, surrendering your agency. And so then you become, you're at the mercy of this process. You're at the mercy of some other power, and you're devoid of participation. And I don't think that's ultimately probably beneficial. But then there's the other side, is that I believe that the Daimon is solely a metaphor, that there's no metaphysical reality to it, that it's something, just a way of thinking about your life completely. It doesn't offend rationality at all. It's totally understandable and totally feasible scientifically and materialistically, because it's just a way of thinking. And so I think that's dangerous too, because then you cut off the possibility of I hesitate to use this word, but of magic. You cut off the possibility that maybe this world is a little bigger and stranger than you understand. Maybe there are things that aren't quite measurable. Maybe there are things that rationality and the scientific method and scientism don't explain. And so I think leaving yourself open to that is probably a good idea, and not just saying, if this is going to happen, it's up to me. It's up to me and every rational process I have at my hands to make this happen. And so on one side of the spectrum, you're waiting for something else, someone else to do this for you. On the other side of the spectrum, you think it's fully up to you in your white knuckle effort. And so I think in this, as in most things, probably the middle ground is the better ground, is the safer ground, is being open to the possibility of this world being weird and strange and us not understanding everything, but also taking a hand in your own development. And so I think learning to look at the Daimon while holding both of those things loosely, one in one hand, one in the other, is probably the way to keep from veering off into dangerous territory. But I would love to know what you think, and luckily we have a comment section down below this video, so let me know. Do you think the Daimon is totally an autonomous spiritual presence, or is it just a metaphor, or, as I've suggested in this video, is it both?